time for a quick tip video. Alright, got a quick tip video on Honda's 1.5 liter turbo engines and oil dilution. These engines came out in around, I don't know, 2017 or so, and you're going to find them on Civics and CR-Vs like this one. This is a 2017 CR-V with the 1.5 liter turbo engine. I changed the oil on this vehicle a few months ago, and I noticed then that the oil level was too high. When I checked it before I drained it, there was too much oil in there. It was clearly too high on the dipstick, and I measured it after I took it out. I put it in a container and measured it. Sure enough, it was almost a half a quart too much. I remember that, made a note of it, and I made sure to put the exact correct amount, and it was right on the dipstick when this thing left. Now we came back in again today. I did another oil change, and lo and behold, it's too high again by almost a half a quart. I'll show you over here in the container. And so now this is 2 times in a row on this vehicle, so I know something's going on. So let me explain what's happening. Alright, I'm not sure if you can quite see it through the jug, but right there at the tip of my finger is about where the oil level is inside this jug, and that's what I pulled out. Here's where it should have been. So we know that there's definitely too much fluid inside there. So you may ask yourself, okay, what's going on? Why is the oil level too high? How did more oil get in there? Well, it's not technically more oil, it's actually fuel. In the case of these vehicles, it's fuel that's gotten past the piston rings and into the oil. And so that's what it is. The oil is diluted with fuel, and that's what makes the level too high. We'll come over here to a little demonstration model right here, where we can get a better view. We're looking sideways inside of a cutout cylinder here. So there's our valves. And here is our fuel injector. Now this vehicle, these 1.5 turbos have direct injection, which means they're directly injecting the fuel into the cylinder here. And so in order to do that, it has to be under extremely high pressure. And what happens unfortunately with that high pressure is, hey, get out of there, is the fuel is getting past these piston rings and going down and into our oil. Now if a little bit of fuel does that, typically it'll vaporize and go through the PCV system and it'll get burned off. It's not a big deal. But when too much fuel gets past these rings and gets into our oil, it will not vaporize and burn off. And so that's what's going on with these vehicles. And really there's no cure, because that's all by design. Now I don't think Honda designed it to get past the piston rings, but Honda says this is normal operation, and like if you tried to bring it in under warranty or anything, there's nothing they're going to do about it. Alright, now that you know what's going on, what can we do about it? Well, there's not a whole lot you can do about it, but you can keep ahead of the problem by changing your oil more often. So that means checking your oil all the time, and if you start seeing that oil level creep up a little higher than it should be, that means it's probably time to change the oil. On this vehicle, where it was almost a half a quart too high, the maintenance miner was at 30%. So we're probably not going to want to wait for the maintenance miner to tell us it's time to change the oil. Probably going to be changing it sooner rather than later, in order to keep this problem from damaging anything. Because obviously if the crankcase and everything gets too full, then bad things can happen. And when fuel is inside your oil, it's not going to lubricate the engine like regular oil will. So we definitely want to get that fuel out, put fresh oil in, and keep this engine going. These cars are getting harder and harder to find, newer and used cars that are in good shape. So if you got one of these 1.5 turbos, more frequent oil changes will help you keep that vehicle going longer. Was this really a tip video? I don't know. But anyway, that's all I got for today. And as always, if the video helped you out or you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.